The lights were red, alarms were loud. Smoke filled the hallways of the alien spaceship. Lena ran as fast as she could. Her boots hit the metal floor with heavy steps. In her arms she carried an unconscious man, a soldier. His name was Jace. He was bleeding, his body was cold. But he was still alive. "Come on," Lena whispered, mostly to herself. Just a little more. Behind her, the sound of alien boots echoed. The Xerions, tall, gray-skinned creatures with glowing blue eyes, were coming. They had no mercy. If they caught Lena, they would kill her. Or worse. Lena reached a heavy door and slammed her hand on the panel. The door opened with a loud hiss. Inside was a small escape pod, just big enough for one person. She dragged Jace inside. Her arms were shaking now. Her heart beat like a drum. "You're safe now," she said softly, brushing dust from his cheek. "You're going home." She looked at the control panel. The pod was ready, fuel full. Navigation set. Destination, human rebel base. But there was one problem, only one seat. Lena knew this from the beginning. She knew there was no coming back. She took a deep breath and looked at Jace one last time. "You have to live," she said. "Promise me. Even if you forget me, just live." She pressed the launch button. The pod doors closed. Jace's eyes moved slightly. Maybe a dream, maybe a memory. The engines HUMMED. And then, whoosh, the pod shot into space. Lena watched it disappear through the small window. A small tear rolled down her cheek, but she didn't cry. There was no time. Behind her, the alarm changed. The Xerions were close now. She could hear them speak in their strange, sharp language. She turned around and ran. Maybe she could hide. Maybe she could destroy the lab. Maybe she could die on her own terms, but she didn't make it far. A sharp blue light hit her back. Her legs gave up. She fell to the floor with a thud. Two Xerions walked toward her. Their metal boots made a clicking sound. One of them scanned her face. "This one helped the human," it said. "She is a traitor. Do not kill her." The other replied, "The commander wants her alive for testing." They picked her up like she was just a piece of cargo. She didn't move. Her body didn't listen anymore. But her mind was awake. She wanted to scream. But no sound came. They dragged her through dark hallways, past dead human bodies and broken machines. The war had come here too. And it had already ended for everyone except her. Finally, they reached a room with glass walls. Inside, strange machines blinked. Tanks full of green liquid held things that used to be people. Now they were something else. The Xerions threw Lena into a chair. They tied her hands. A metal band closed around her head. Then they left. A screen turned on. A face appeared, not alien but not human either. Something in between. Its eyes glowed white. "You are strong," the voice said. "Stronger than we thought." Lena didn't answer. She stared at the screen. "You gave up your freedom to save one man," the voice continued. "Why?" Still, she said nothing. The screen flickered. A video played the moment she launched the escape pod. Her words. Her face. "So much emotion," the voice said. "Love, loyalty, hope." The screen went dark again. "We will remove it all," the voice said coldly. "You will serve the Xerion Empire now." Lena closed her eyes. In her mind, she saw Jace's face, alive, safe, somewhere far away. "Goodbye," she whispered, but they didn't hear her. The machine started. Lights flashed, wires moved. Her body shook. And then everything went black. The price of mercy, the last thing she remembered was pain, then silence, now only cold. Lena opened her eyes slowly. Above her was a white ceiling. Bright lights? Too bright. Her body didn't move. Her arms felt heavy. Her thoughts foggy. Where was she? Then it came back. The escape pod. Jace, the blue light, the aliens. She was still alive, but where? A voice spoke. Not human. Subject 47 is awake. She turned her head with effort. A tall Xerion stood behind glass. Its skin shimmered like metal. Its eyes glowed white. Lena tried to sit up. She couldn't. Metal straps held her to the table. "You will not be harmed," the Xerion said. "Not yet." The room looked like a lab. Strange tools, floating screens. A tank nearby bubbled with green liquid. Something moved inside. You helped the human escape, the alien said calmly. That was a mistake. Lena didn't speak. Another Xerion entered the room. This one looked older, with markings on its chest. A high rank. She is a rare one, the older one said. Emotionally strong, mentally sharp. A good subject for Project Merge? Project Merge? She had heard that name before? In whispers. Among prisoners. A secret plan by the Xerions to connect human minds to their hive system, to use humans as tools. As living machines, they were going to use her. Lena stared at them, full of quiet anger. But she knew one thing. If she fought now, they would kill her. She needed time. So she stayed silent. Still, waiting. Weeks passed. They didn't keep her in a cell. They kept her in a glass room, always watched, always scanned. They tested her mind every day. They tried to break her thoughts, her memories, her heart, but she held on to one thing. Jace was safe. They couldn't take that from her. Not yet. One night, a new Xerion entered her room, but something was different. He walked like a soldier, but his eyes were unsure. He dropped something. Near her bed, a small chip, and left without a word. Lena picked it up once the cameras turned away. She plugged it into a small console in the corner. The screen blinked. A short message appeared. Only 4 words. He's alive. He's looking. Her heart stopped. He remembered her. After all this time? Or was it a trap? She didn't care. Hope was dangerous. But she needed it. Far away in a hidden base, Jace trained with the resistance. He was strong now. A leader. A symbol of human survival. But every night he saw her in his dreams, a woman with tired eyes, reaching out to him. He didn't know who she was. He didn't know why she cried. He didn't even remember her name, but deep inside, he felt something was missing. Back in the lab, Lena stood by the glass window, watching the stars. Her hands were cold. Her body was weak, but her mind? Still sharp. Still ready. If Jace was alive, maybe there was still a chance. Maybe the price she paid wouldn't be for nothing. But she also knew something dark. The Xerions weren't just experimenting anymore. They were building an army. An army of twisted humans, wired to machines, controlled by the hive, and she was their first prototype. Years in the shadow space is silent, but his dreams are not. Every night he sees her, a face without a name, a voice without a memory. She's calling him, but he doesn't know why. 5 years later, the war has grown colder. The humans are still fighting, but they are tired. Jace is now a captain, respected, skilled, fearless. To the world, he's a hero, but inside he feels broken. He trains soldiers, leads missions, wins battles. But every night, the same dream comes, a woman standing in smoke. Her voice is soft but full of pain. She says only one thing: don't forget me. Jace always wakes up sweating, heart racing, but he doesn't know who she is. Or if she was ever real, across the galaxy, far beyond rebel lines. Lena is still alive, but she is not the same. Her hair is shorter, her eyes glow faint blue from tech implants. Her voice sometimes stutters like static. She has metal in her hands. In her spine, the Xerions turned her into a machine. But they never broke her mind. She plays a role now, the perfect merged subject, obedient, quiet, smart. They think she's part of the hive, but deep down, she remembers everything. She remembers Jace. She remembers the pain. She remembers hope, and she remembers her promise. Don't come back. Just live. But now, 5 years later, she wonders, what if he did come back? One day, during routine memory testing, Lena sees something strange. A live news feed is playing across the screen. A human strike team has destroyed a Xerion weapons. Depot. Lena stares at the footage. There, leading the charge, is Jace. Older, stronger, alive. Her hands tremble. She whispers his name for the first time in 5 years. Jace. Suddenly, the room lights flicker. The system detects emotional change. A cold robotic voice speaks. Subject 47, heartbeat irregular, increased sedative. She calms her breathing, closes her eyes, pretends to sleep, but her mind is wide awake now. Later that night, a figure enters her dark chamber. The same strange Xerion who once left her a message chip. But this time, he removes his helmet. He's not a Xerion at all. He's a human deep undercover. A spy, he whispers. Project Merge is nearly complete. They're building hundreds of you, but I've seen your profile. You're the only one who broke the code. Lena stares at him. Her voice is barely a whisper. Why are you telling me this? He looks around nervously, then leans closer. Because your soldier, the one you saved, he's coming here. And he doesn't know you're still alive. Far away, Jace stands on the bridge of a rebel cruiser. He looks out. Into the stars, the mission is clear. Destroy a hidden Xerion research base rumored to house something dangerous. He doesn't know what he'll find there, but in his chest, a strange feeling grows stronger. Like someone is waiting for him. In her chamber, Lena stares out the glass wall. She no longer sees her reflection. All she sees is a question. If he finds me like this, what will he see? Not the woman who saved him, not the girl he once knew, but a weapon, a ghost, a machine. Still, she whispers to herself, if you're really coming, I'll be ready. Awakenings, a cold wind blew inside the alien base. But there were no windows, no sky, no life, only ghosts. And one of them was human. The air was thick with silence. Jace walked through the dark hallways of the abandoned Xerion station. His gun was ready. His team followed close behind, 5 elite rebels, trained for war, but this mission was different. They had no clear orders. Only a strange signal, repeating again and again. Subject 47... active. Status, unstable. Number. One knew what Subject 47 was. No one knew that Jace was walking straight into her prison. Deep below, Lena opened her eyes. Alarms blinked silently on her wall screen. Unauthorized human presence detected? She sat up. Her body moved without pain now, stronger than before. She walked to the glass wall and placed her hand on the cold surface. She could feel it. He was here, after 5 long years. He had come, but he didn't know she was inside the lab, and worse. He didn't know the Xerions had turned the base into a trap. On level 3, Jace moved deeper into the ruins. Walls were cracked. Machines broken. The place looked abandoned, but at WSN single quotes, suddenly his radio buzzed. Captain, we found something. You need to see this. Jace rushed to the chamber. Inside, a single chair. A helmet, and on the screen, a video still. Frozen in time. It showed a young woman launching an escape pod. Her face. His heart froze. Who is she? His teammate asked. Jace didn't answer. The room felt heavy. Like his chest was being crushed. He touched the screen. The woman looked familiar, but he didn't know why. Then, her voice played. Soft, shaky, real. If you ever find this, I didn't die. Below, in the shadows, Lena moved through hidden halls. She wore a hood now, her glowing eyes covered. Her identity hidden. She had one goal, find Jace and get him out before it was too late. The Xerions knew he was here, and they had activated the old security systems. Soon the base would lock down. No way in. No way out. Jace's hands shook. He didn't remember her name, but he remembered. The feeling, warmth, safety, lost. He turned to leave, but the doors suddenly slammed shut. Red lights flashed. Containment protocol active. Intruders detected. Hive defense mode on. Something was coming, not machines. Not soldiers, something worse. In the darkness, Lena moved faster. She knew what they had built. Weapons made from broken humans. Failed. Merge. Subjects. They had no soul. Number. Voice. Just pain. She had to reach Jace before they did. Suddenly, the walls near Jace exploded. One of his soldiers screamed. Pulled into the dark by a creature made of flesh and metal, Jace fired blindly. His team fought hard. But they were surrounded, and, then everything stopped. The creatures turned, frozen, still. A figure stood at the end of the hallway, hooded, silent. Jace raised his gun. Who are you? He shouted. The figure walked closer, slow, careful. Then the hood came down. Eyes glowed softly. Skin pale, a scar down her neck. Jace stepped back, confused. His voice cracked. You... He didn't know her name, but his heart did. Lena? She didn't answer. She just looked at him, eyes full of tears she refused to let fall. Then, without a word, she turned and walked away. The creatures followed her and vanished. She had saved him. Again. Later, in the command room, Jace sat alone. His team was shaken, tired, silent. He stared at the screen, rewinding the same clip over and over. Her voice, her face, her final words. Don't come back. Just live. But he had come back, and now he needed to know why she was still alive, and what the Xerions had done to her. In the shadows of the station, Lena sat against a cold wall. She had seen his eyes. He didn't remember her fully, but a part of him still did. That was enough. For now. Stay away, Jace, she whispered. You don't know what I've become. The hunt, he saw her face. But she vanished like smoke. Now he's chasing a ghost. But this time, the ghost is real. The stars passed fast outside the rebel cruiser's window. Jace stood alone, watching them blur like lines of light. He hadn't slept in 2 days, not since the station, not since he saw her. He didn't need proof anymore. The woman who saved him all those years ago, the one from his dreams, she was alive. Lena, half human, half machine, but her eyes was still hers. The rebel command didn't believe him. You're chasing shadows, Captain, one officer said. It could have been a Xerion trick. Another warned, but Jace knew. He could still feel her presence. It wasn't just memory. It was a connection, one the Xerions hadn't erased. He began searching systems one by one. Not for a name, but for a pattern. Everywhere Lena went, something strange happened. Xerion patrols vanished without a trace. Labs were found empty, no signs of life, only destroyed machines. Surveillance drones shut down seconds before arrival. She was moving, and she didn't want to be found. But he wasn't the only one looking. The Xerion Empire had labeled her Subject 47, Rogue Asset. Status, kill or reclaim. She was their greatest failure and their greatest fear. They couldn't control her. And now she was loose. Lena sat in the shadows of an abandoned freighter. Her back against cold metal, her hand over her chest, where her heart used to race freely. Now it ticked in a rhythm controlled by tech. She stared at a small holoscreen showing Jace's face from a news clip. He was looking for her. Why didn't you listen, Jace? She whispered. I told you not to come back. But some part of her was glad he didn't listen, and that scared her. On the mining moon Veltrix 9. A rumor reached Jace. A hooded woman with glowing eyes had been seen disabling Xerion drones without touching them. He didn't wait. He took a small team, quiet, fast. No orders, no backup. He didn't want anyone else getting to her first, but he was too late. The site was burned. Xerions had arrived first. And they were searching for someone. That's when Jace heard it, a voice through a hacked comlink. Jace, stop. Don't follow me. His blood froze. It was her. She was alive, watching him, and she was warning him. But Jace did the opposite. He ran toward the signal source, heart pounding, through smoke, past fire, over ruins. And then he saw her, standing still, hood on, eyes dim blue. She didn't run this time. They stared at each other, two people connected by war, memory, and something more. He stepped closer. Lena, it's really you. She turned her face slightly. Her voice came out low, almost robotic. You should have stayed away. You don't know what I've become. He reached out, but she stepped back. I'm not yours anymore, she said. I'm not even mine. Suddenly, gunfire, Xerion scouts spotted them. She turned to. Run. Don't follow me, Jace. They want me alive. But they won't spare you. And just like that, she was gone again, lost in smoke. Later, Jace sat beside a fire in the rebel camp. One of his team members approached. Sir, was she the one from your past? He didn't answer. He simply stared at the stars and whispered, She saved me once. Now it's my turn. But somewhere deep in the Xerion space, a new order was given. Begin Operation Hunter. Find Subject 47, no more warnings. Now, Lena was not only being hunted by the one she escaped, but also by the one she once risked everything to save. Broken vows, they promised they'd never leave each other. But war doesn't keep promises, it breaks them. Now they stand face to face. And neither is the same. The rain fell slowly on the dead moon. It wasn't real rain, just a chemical mist from the old mining machines. But it looked like earth rain. It even smelled like it. JSCE stood alone under the sky that wasn't a sky. His clothes were torn, his arm bleeding, but his eyes were fixed on her. Lena. She stood just 10 steps away. Hood down, hands raised. Not in. Surrender? In warning. You should have let me go, Jace, she said. I had to see you, he replied. To know if you were still you. She didn't answer. Instead, she pulled back her sleeve. The metal shined on her skin. Her veins glowed faint blue. She looked more machine than human. And yet, her eyes were full of something the Xerions could never code. Regret. Flashback. 5 years ago, a promise made in a ruined outpost. Jace barely breathing. Lena stitching his wounds. If anything happens, he said, don't come back for me. Too late, she smiled. I already would. Now, in the present, she looked at the man who had once made her feel safe, but her voice was cold. You don't know what they did to me. Then tell me, he said softly. Let me carry it with you. She laughed, bitter and short. You don't carry this, Jace. You survive it. If you're lucky? Suddenly, explosions in the distance, Xerion ships closing in. They had tracked her again. And now, Jace was caught in the trap. Lena turned to him, eyes sharp. Run, I'll stop them. No, he said firmly. I didn't come all this way. Just to lose you again. You already lost me, she whispered. A blast hit the hill nearby. Dust and fire filled the sky. Lena raised her hand, her palm glowing with a strange pulse. A wall of energy pushed back the flames. Jace stepped back, shocked. What? What did they turn you into? Her voice cracked. Something that shouldn't exist. A human mind in a Xerion weapon. She looked at him, finally letting her voice break. I don't sleep. I don't eat. I don't feel the way I used to. But when I saw you again, something inside me woke up. They stared at each other through the falling ash. No. One spoke. There was too much between them now, too many broken pieces, but even in silence. Some things don't fade, not after war, not after time, not even after transformation. Lena stepped forward, placed something small in Jace's hand, a memory chip, pulsing soft white. This has everything the rebels need, she said. Locations, codes, hive maps. It's all from inside my head. If I don't make it out, use it. Jace gripped the chip tightly. You're not dying on me again. Lena smiled, the first real smile in years. That's the thing about dying, Jace. You don't always get to choose. Suddenly, a sharp sound, a sniper beam. It hit her shoulder. She fell hard. Jace ran to her, fired back blindly at the cliffside. Above, blood, dark and strange, spilled from her arm. She looked up at him, barely conscious. It's starting, she said. They've activated my failsafe. They're coming to take me back. Jace lifted her in his arms. He looked toward the dark sky where Xerion ships burned red trails above. Then let them try. The return she once saved him from death. Now she's fading, and only he can save what's left of her. This isn't a war for planets anymore. This is a war for one soul. Everything was burning. The rebel ship shook as alarms screamed. Jace stood at the edge of the medbay, blood on his hands, but it wasn't his. Lena lay on the table. Still, pale, wires around her chest. Her mechanical arm twitching, her eyes were closed. Her heart beat slow, weak. The doctors didn't know what to do. Because Lena wasn't just human anymore, she was part of something alien and dying. Her neural link is failing, one medic said. She's crashing from inside. We can't stabilize her. Jace didn't listen. He only stared at her face. The same face that haunted his dreams for years, the same voice that had saved him more than once. And now she was slipping away. He remembered her words before she collapsed. The memory chip. Use it if I don't make it. Jace held the small glowing chip in his hand, but he didn't plug it into the command deck. He plugged it into her. Flash. A blast of data filled the screen. Images, sounds, ping, joy, her, Memories. Her first day as a rebel tech. The moment she carried him to the escape pod. The 5 years of torment. Her resistance, her rage, her hope. He saw everything, and one thing became clear. Lena was still in there, buried, deep, but alive. The Xerions weren't going to stop. They had launched their final strike, one last hive core. Hidden in deep space, the true source of their control, and Lena's mind was the key to unlocking it, not to destroy her, but to absorb her completely. She would become the first full human to merge with the hive, unless Jay stopped it. He looked at the memory stream one last time. One message played at the end. Her voice. Soft, tired. If this message plays, I'm probably gone. But if I'm not, and you're still there, Jace, please bring me back. Not the soldier, not the machine, just... Oh, May. Hours later, the rebel cruiser jumped through hyperspace, heading to the Xerion Hive core, a suicide mission, but Jace didn't care. He had only one target, the core brain. If he destroyed it, he could break Lena's connection and end the Hive's grip on thousands like her. The battle was brutal. Rebel ships exploded one by one. Jace led the drop team himself. Explosions shook the alien fortress. Inside, wires pulsed with blue energy. Screams echoed from the Hive speakers. In the center, a giant organic brain, pulsing, alive, connected to Lena's mind. She is already ours, the Hive voice said. You cannot undo what she has become. Jace planted the bomb at the base, but before he pressed the trigger, he spoke, not to the Hive. To her. Lena, if you can hear me, I don't care what they turned you into. You're still you. You're still worth saving. Come back. Come back to me. The brain pulsed wildly. Static screamed across the walls, and then silence. One word echoed inside the chamber. Jace. Boom. The core exploded in a flash of white light. Weeks later, hospital bay, peaceful, quiet. Jace sat beside a bed. Lena lay there. Alive, breathing, her eyes slowly opened, soft brown again. No glow, no static. Just her. You came back? She whispered. He smiled. You saved me first. I was just returning the favor.